7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Hey, thank you so much for coming in. We are live here. Here we go. NHL playoffs, day number 4. Pregame show with your boys here. Chirp City Media presents the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs pregame show. And we are here. We got Jar Jar TV hanging out on the top of your screen there. We got Just Vala right below him. Willie Wanoots, the man, the myth, right below him there. And then here I am. I'm Carlos. I'm here. We're ready to run through it, baby. Let's go. Super fired up. Big game 2s tonight. We've been talking about these game 2s. They're here. They're now. We're ready to go here. We're fired up. We got the Ranger fan in the house here. We got me. I'm fired up for the Devs game 2 tonight. And, of course, the must-win for the Leafs weighing on everybody's mind. They got to get it done tonight or they shouldn't come back from game 3 in Tampa Bay, let me tell you. But, hey, let's check in with everybody. What's going on, boys? We'll check in. How's everybody feeling?
Feeling good, bro.
Feeling great.
We're ready for Devs Rangers game 2. I was a little disappointed in game 1. I wanted it to be closer.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the score didn't match the actual game. The Devs definitely had some great fucking chances in that game, but
Gotta solve Shesterkin.
Couldn't get past Shesterkin.
Gotta figure it out. Gotta get by him today.
Top goalie in the league, one of the top goalies in the league. It's not going to be easy.
Yep, he's a big time problem. Got to figure it out. Got to find a way to get pucks past him today. But hey, we'll see what happens. You know, we're fired up, ready to go. 7:30 that game's at. But let's run through last night's games. We talked about it obviously on the post game show last night, but wanted to get you guys' take. We're gonna run through them real quick. We had Hurricanes Islanders. Hurricanes ended up taking 4-3 in overtime. An absolute hose job, in my opinion, just unreal. I talked about it last night on the post-game show. It was an unbelievable hose job, like just total, like, what the hell happened? What's going on? Matt's sending me food right now on Snapchat. He's like looking to get a fucking hot dog from Rocket J's, and let me tell you, I've been thinking about Rocket J's all day. If I wasn't a poor son of a bitch, I'd be there already 2-3 times a day. But oh my God, holy shit, let me tell you, boys, I was so fired up by that lack of a high stick across the face of Mayfield last night. And I know, I don't know if you guys if you saw the breakdown. Mike Rupp, former Penguin, former Devil, a legend guy on NHL Network all the time. He did a breakdown talking about, it looked like Mayfield accidentally bumped his stick up into the face. As we got Chauncey Dog joining us. Chauncey, what's going on? He said he looked like he bumped Mayfield's stick up into his own face, but, the more I watch, you got to have control of your stick. He still swung it around his body and hit him right in the mouth. I wanted to throw it over to you guys, see what you guys thought of it. Just an absolute hose job of a great game. The game was back and forth. The Islanders didn't get one power play all game. It was unbelievable. Like, the Canes played a very clean game, but still, to lose in that fashion, you get smacked right in the mouth. The puck gets turned over in the neutral zone, and they come in and score while you're holding your teeth in your mouth, trying to keep them from falling out. Just bananas. I wanted to get you guys' take on it.
I thought it was a bad call. I think that should have been a 4-minute double minor. Easily. Here's
what I gotta say, and yeah, the eye sticking should have been called, but there's gonna be a lot of missed calls. Teravainen is actually missing the rest of the series with the broken hands. He got slashed from above, right over the hands. That's an over the stick slash. That's a penalty. It wasn't called. There's gonna be a lot of missed calls in the playoffs. This is not gonna be the first time it happens, and there's gonna be a lot of bad calls.
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of tie games where some ref is just gonna feel like he wants to decide the game for some reason and get carried away and put his arm up, and then the whole fan base is going to go fucking nuts. It's going to happen both ways. It happens every year. It's a missed call, but there was a missed call to the Hurricanes as well, the same game.
Yep.
Now the guy's going to miss the series. It's not like It's not like the guy on the Islanders. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name. Number 7. I don't think he's gonna miss any games. So, I mean, it goes both ways. It does suck to lose that same play, but
Yeah, I mean it was tough. You know
Martin, there we go.
it's tough for the Islanders just because they didn't get any power play opportunities. The Carolina went 1 for 6. I mean the Islanders PK got it done. So it's not like the Islanders weren't getting any calls either, and it was pretty evenly like let the boys play. Like the Islanders the Hurricanes had 6 power plays. They went 1 for 6 on the power play. The Islanders penalty kill got it done. Sorokin, played pretty decent. I thought that overtime goal, and more that I watch it, he kind of looked off on his angle there, and then ended up, going far side top corner. But overall, I thought the Islanders did play well. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched any of the game. I watched it. I thought the Islanders played well. I thought they pushed the pace at times. But Matt was talking about it too. The Hurricanes are a very consistent team. They play the same way each period. They had a goal in each period. They know how to push the pace as well. So I think both teams played really well. I'm excited for this series to shift over to the island and shift over to Belmont Park. I think the Islander fans are going to be absolutely rowdy going back to UBS Arena. Especially after what happened at the end of that game. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, 4-3 was the final there. You guys have any final thoughts on that game? What did you catch anything that I may have missed?
No, I don't think so.
I just want to add, I think that it's going to completely change when they take it to the island. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be a completely different atmosphere, obviously, but just the way the puck's moving around, the way those guys work together and stuff, it's going to be a lot better.
Islanders play well at home in the playoffs.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
do, yeah.
They have a good history at home.
That just even like you're down 2-0, right? 2-0?
Yeah, they're down 2-0, yeah.
You're down 2-0, like you're really hoping to get back home and play in front of your home crowd.
And let's not forget. I mean, last year, which was a big factor. Last year, the Canes could not win on the road in the playoffs. They went over on the road in the playoffs. They won one road game. So that's huge.
No, they didn't win any.
They didn't win any road games. They won every series at home. They just couldn't figure it out on the road. Let's see what happens. I mean, let's see if they know how to get some wins on the road this year. Shifted over to the Panthers Bruins. Panthers won 6-3. I mean, this game, it was a little bit of an ass kicking in my opinion. I thought that the Panthers really took it to the Bruins. Ullmark gave up 5 goals on 25 shots. Boston 1 for 4 on the power play. The Panthers 0 for 3. But honestly, I just thought that the Panthers were the better team. I mean, it was tied 0-0 at the end of the first, but I thought the Panthers had the majority of the chances in the first period. And then obviously Sam Bennett finally broke through in the second. And then Marchand ended up tying it up. They kind of played more even in the second period. I know Bertuzzi got that weird deflection goal off the skate. It was going well wide, and Bertuzzi kind of was turning, and it went off of his skate and into the net. So you can't really ride Lyon on that. I thought Lyon did play well. But then Brandon Montour really took over in the third period, obviously. 2 goals. Played incredible defense on the back end, and then obviously dominated from the point in the offensive zone. We'll throw it over to you. Willis, to start. I mean, what did you see? I thought the Panthers were just playing much better than the Bruins throughout that game as it continued on.
Yeah, the Bruins weren't dominant yesterday, and that's kind of weird to see because there weren't many games in the regular season that there weren't many games they even lost, but there weren't many games they got beat like that, and it was close until the third. The Bruins did hold up. They kept tying the game up. They went down tied up, and they were keeping the fans into it. But the third was just out of control on the Panthers side. They just kept scoring, and it came to a point where we actually flipped the game. And then I looked at the NHL app, and then it was 5-2, and I'm like, wow, they got an open netter. They pulled the goalie early. Then we get a highlight. It wasn't even an open netter. Ullmark just couldn't stop the puck in the third. It was crazy. So
right.
And then they ended up scoring again. So I mean, good for the Panthers. Tied up 1-1. That's the playoffs for you.
Dude, I'm taking back my possible. That was the series. Remember the other day I said if there's a series that there's a sweep, that was the one I called.
Yeah, I agree. I said the same thing.
You guys were dead on, right? Every team falls apart in the playoffs. It happens,
Yeah, I was saying
Best
I
team
think
to be the worst all of a sudden.
right. Yeah, I mean I think we still got a long series ahead. I think the Bruins are going to turn it on. I think the one thing that we have to watch now is the Bergeron watch. I mean, Bergeron
Yeah.
plays in a meaningless game 82. This team is far above everybody. Like it's not like they're playing for first place. You're playing your guy, your 38-year-old center, in a meaningless game in Montreal against the last place team in your division, and he gets hurt. He comes out of the lineup, then he gets sick, and they still say he doesn't look great. He didn't travel with the team down to Florida today. He's still in Boston. He's unclear whether he's going to play in Game 3. I mean, it begs the question, like, what are you doing playing one of your star guys like that?
What was his injury?
They say it's an upper body injury. They haven't disclosed what it is.
Yeah.
Just an upper body. But it's like, what are you doing playing in that meaningless 82-second game in Montreal? And then I don't understand that from a coaching, from a management perspective.
It makes no sense all around in any way possible. And if there's somebody that can speak into existence on why it does make sense, here's the floor.
Yeah,
It
I just
doesn't
don't
make
get it.
sense. Ticket sales, the only thing I can think of is ticket sales.
Yeah, I mean,
so
even the game, the games in Montreal, and then I know the Devils were playing their starters in game 82, but they were still playing for first place at that point. Like they were 1 point back from Carolina. If Carolina had lost, we would have taken over first place. So it was like, we're still playing for something. Boston is God only knows how many points above Toronto for first place. They won the President's Trophy by that point. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like I don't understand.
I feel like you don't hear about it as much. But if Patrick Mahomes all of a sudden played Week 17 and tore his ACL, was out for the playoffs, you would hear about that on every single sports channel, every website, this, that, the other thing. Hockey, you just don't. They're not posting about it,
And I mean, Bergeron's one of those
They're not
players,
getting
like
the
like Willis knows this. Bergeron's one of those players that will play through literally any injury. Like he'll just play. Like in
That
2013,
guy's the heart of that team. Him and Martian are the heart of that
he
team.
played the Cup final with a punctured lung. I mean, his lung was punctured, and he was out there with a broken arm and a punctured lung, and he was out there getting it done. So I mean, Bergeron's one of those guys that will play through it, but it's still big. I just don't understand how you're just hands above everybody else in the league. You already won the President's Trophy, and then you roll them out there in a meaningless game in Montreal. It's a rivalry game. Montreal's going to go out there and just throw the body and just be assholes. I mean, it's just it's. I don't know what the thought process there was. I'll throw it over to you, Maddie. I mean, do you see something like that? I don't know. In your perspective, I don't know why you'd play your star players in a meaningless game, but I wanted to see what you thought.
No, I mean, you don't even let them suit, Like,
Yeah, you don't even keep them in the
if
bench.
you got a guy who's leagues above everybody else, and you have a game that means nothing, or a game that you don't care about,
Right.
you don't throw that guy out there. You just, you let him sit on the bench, maybe. In the event that something happens and you need him to go in. If you're down 4-0 and you don't want to get embarrassed, throw him in with that quick goal. But I mean, there's no reason to play somebody if the game doesn't mean shit. There's no reason to risk, especially if you're going to play for something bigger later on or simultaneously. Like there's no point to waste him or to put him at risk if you're not playing for anything.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. Obviously no word on what's going to go on for Game 3. But I think they'll go back to Olmark for Game 3. I'd assume. I know some people were saying, hey, put in Swayman, see what Swayman could do. But I think Olmark, he's the hands-down Vezina winner. I expect him to go back in for Game 3. And then as for Bergeron, I guess we just sit around and watch and see what happens. I mean, it's no official word yet, but I don't believe he traveled with the team. They were saying that they don't believe he's going to. So we'll see what happens for Game 3 and down in Sunrise. Shifting over to Dallas, Texas, the Stars laid an ass-kicking 7-3 in Game 2. I mean, honestly, I know we love Fleury. We're a Fleury-loving podcast here. Obviously, with Willis being the Pittsburgh guy and Fleury a longtime Penguin. But holy shit, Fleury sucked ass last night. I hate to be that guy, but holy shit, Fleury sucks. And for the fact that you had a guy that made 42 straight saves in game one to keep your team in it and stand on his head and win you that game by himself, and then you go sit him on the bench and say, sit down, son, for this piece of trash. I don't know. I mean, I'll throw it over to you, Willis, for you're a Fleury guy. You can come to his
Willie in a
defense.
spot here.
But
Listen,
I mean,
I'm not even
it's a
going to
tough
be
look.
biased right now. I'm not even going to be biased. I think you're being a little too hard on him because there were a couple of those goals where they're just unsavable. And there was a time where one of them was like in the beginning of the game that I saw because I didn't see the third period.
Right.
But some of those goals were just unsavable. And then the Wild came back, made it 4-3. And then right after that, Dallas gets another power play and scores. Like, what was their power play last night? I didn't look too much.
Yeah, they were 3 for 6 on the power play. Minnesota went 1
power
for
play
5.
goals. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
It was tough. I mean, Dallas overall dominated time of possession.
Yeah,
They
Dallas-
dominated shots. It was just, So one thing
he didn't look great. Like, there was a couple, like 1 or 2 goals that I saw where could have saved them, but there was a couple where it's like deflections in front. I saw at least 2 that were deflections.
The Sagan goal was a clear, like, what are you gonna do there? Tough goal. Hintz's first goal in the first period, he came in on a breakaway, just put it right over his shoulder.
That was kind of a weaker one that happened, but there were 2 deflections where no goalie that's just a luck if you save that or not.
I agree. I just think I just was confused on why. I know they're trying to get the veteran in there. They're trying to have rotating goalies, but I don't understand.
I should have played the guy that just won him game 1. I agree. your
It's just tough when your guy makes 42 consecutive saves, keeps you in the game through 2 overtimes, stands on his head, and then you squeak out with the win. It's like, listen, I'm riding with that guy. That guy can is hot. But I know what they're trying to do. It's tough, when you have 2 starting goalies, 1A, 1B. You don't have a definitive backup, so you're trying to get your guys reps. I think for sure it's safe to say Gustafsson will start Game 3 in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens when we get there. Overall, I think the biggest concern, and Matt and I were talking about it, so I'm going to throw it over to him. We were talking about it last night, but I think Minnesota's got to figure out a way to slow Dallas down. It seemed at times where Dallas was just so much faster than Minnesota. Minnesota just looked slow. They couldn't control the puck. So I'll let you take over here, Matt. We were talking about it last night in the post game. See what you thought.
Yeah, Dallas needed to do exactly what they did. They needed to come out fast, heavy, score a bunch of goals. And I said it last night is I don't think anybody watching, I don't think Minnesota expected them to come out the way they did.
Right.
I think Minnesota expected another game 1 where it was going to be hard fought and, they might sit back a little bit, but I mean, they jammed it down their throats, and I don't think Minnesota was expecting that.
Yeah, it was a tough game to watch at times. Just Minnesota just looked like they weren't able to keep up. I know they got injuries. I heard Eriksson Ek, from what I was reading on Twitter, I think he's going to be available for Game 3. Ryan Hartman was out, the OT winner, the OT goal scorer, from Game 1, who, like I said, got hurt in that first overtime. He was out last night. So hopefully the center position starts to fill up with depth for the Wild once they head back to the state of hockey for Game 3. You guys got any final thoughts there, John or Willis?
I was muted. Oops. But no, I don't really have much to say. I think you guys covered most of what I would have had to say.
All right, so we're going to jump down here real quick to the Oilers and Kings. Oilers ended up taking it 4-2. Absolute heck of a battle. I mean, there's not much else you could say about the game. It was a complete dogfight. Again, and I pointed this out because this is like one of the heaviest hitting series of the whole playoff so far. I mean, another game with 112 total hits. Like, these guys are just banging bodies, throwing it against each other. I mean, even McDavid's getting in there. But, hey, where's McJesus? Another game. No goals from McJesus. He got that one apple. It was a nice pass through the lane. But, hey, another night, not too much flash from the great McJesus that everybody's been waiting for. And Matt actually made a good point. I kind of feel a little bad because, Draisaitl, again, is just on a tear in the playoffs. He's lighting them up. Guy's hot, already 3 playoff goals. But I mean, everybody. I'm watching the broadcast, and John Bucci-Gross. All he could talk about is, well, here comes McDavid. Here comes McDavid, and it's like McDavid doesn't do anything. I'm like, oh my god, this like, dude, get him out of your mouth for 1 second, bro. Like, Jesus Christ, this guy hasn't done anything. But
I know, every time the puck's on his stick, they do sound like that. You're right.
Yeah, they're always like, oh, and here's McDavid. Here he comes. He's like in his defensive zone, like coming around his own net. Oh my God, here he comes! It's like, whoa, like hold on there, hold on, everybody relax, like. But
and then he passes it. They're like, and he passes it up, and
then everybody's like, oh, nobody cares. It's like everybody's just like, oh, and nobody cares anymore. It's like whatever.
McDavid is the Patrick Mahomes of the NHL.
Yeah, the love
that
the
dude.
Love he's getting is
he could just smack the puck into his own teammate's back, and they would be like, "What a pass by McDavid! His teammates should have done a better job." Like,
dude, it was unbelievable. But hey, what a hell of a game. The poor Kings. I mean, they're staying out of the box. They took one penalty and ended up being a power play goal. The Oilers' power play is just unreal. They really just can't afford to take not even one penalty. It seems like the Oilers' power play is just insane. But it was an absolute dogfight throughout the whole game. Kempe back on the score sheet with an apple. Philip Deneau, I've been talking about Philip Deneau. He's a huge defensive-minded center, but he can score, and he did last night. It just overall was a battle. And then that Klim Kostin, I'm sorry if I can't get his name right. Klim Kostin with an unbelievable shot from the top of the circles to take the lead 3-2 in the third. Just unbelievable shot. Like, what are you going to do? Korpisalo played well, I thought. And it just, screen shot, defenseman put the puck right through his legs, top of the circles, unreal shot. It's just, one of those shots that it's like, oh, what are you going to do? But, overall, I thought it was a good game by both teams. They were competitive. I'll throw it over to you guys. What do you guys have on this one?
Other than that first period, that game was great. Edmonton destroyed the Kings in that first period.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very momentum shifting game. The first period, it was pretty boring. The Oilers just dominated, made it 2-0. And the Kings were playing great in the second. They got 2 dirty goals. The Kings are just getting dirty goals all the time, it feels like, which you need to do, and that's great. And then the third period kind of slowed down again, and then they just got that one good shot from that guy you were talking about, Kloss, and
yep.
Then an empty netter at the end, and it was a good game. It's just the momentum shifted a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the Kings going the first 19 minutes of the first period with no shots on goal, not even one shot. I was afraid. I was like, oh boy, here we go. The Oilers are feeling it. They're gonna bring it now. I was like, this could be a runaway. And then the Kings woke up in the second period, came out, made it 2-2, and was like, what's up? We're still here. So I mean, hey, it's gonna be a wild series. Shifting back to LA. Poor Drew Doughty, man. Though I was watching the game last night, and every time that poor guy touches the puck, the whole screen shakes from the boos that you hear in Edmonton. It's unreal. And the Edmonton faithful are just
We'll go back to LA. Don't worry.
All over poor Drew Doughty. But anyway, yeah. So it's exciting. Series tied 1-1 there. Heading back to LA for Game 3 on Friday night. So we'll be talking more about that series tomorrow. But here we go, boys. Here we go. We're rolling into today, and boy, do we have a slate to talk about here. Must win for the Leafs. We're going to start with the Leafs Lightning right here, Game 2 in Toronto. And holy shit, do we have a heavy situation on our hands here, fellas. We got a heavy situation on our hands. Leafs got absolutely embarrassed the other night at home. Looked bad. And look, they got to figure it out tonight. Eric Chernak, one of the Tampa's top defensemen, is going to be out. He's not going to be in the lineup tonight. Victor Hedman is a game-time decision. I haven't seen anything. I have my alerts on to see if he's going to be in the lineup. No word as of yet. But hey, listen, I'll throw it over to you, Willis, to start. What do we got to see from these guys? What do they got to figure out here?
Matthews needs to score in this game, 100%, because I mean, he doesn't need to score, but the Leafs, they need to win this game, and I want to see more to Matthews. Especially with that guy Bunting out for 3 games. I mean, do we even know what the lines are going to be like tonight?
Yes, I have the lines here. Matthew Nyes, the Minnesota Star, is drawing back into the lineup tonight. I believe he's going to play on the third line.
Look at first line with Matthews going to be?
It's going to be Kelly Yarncrow is going to play on the wing with Matthews and Marner. And then Nylander and Tavares are going to play with hold on here. Here we go.
I mean,
Okay, so we have, where was it? I just had it right here. Okay, here we go. So we got Kelly Yarncrow is going to play in the wing with Matthews and Marner. Alex Kerfoot is going to jump up to the second line with Tavares and Nylander. Ryan O'Reilly is going to play with the Minnesota kid, Matt Nyes and Noel Achari on the third line. And then Aston Reef, Kempf, and Lafferty are going to be the fourth line for the Leafs tonight.
That's a pretty good fourth. I like that. I mean, here's the thing: the Maple Leafs are a huge favorite. So if they lose this game, it's like, dude, if you're a Maple Leafs fan, do you just sell the team or like what do you? I mean, they gotta just get pucks past Vasilevsky. I feel like they have to. They gotta go up and down the lineup. I hope that Matthews like gets a goal and fires that place up. But even when the fans are going crazy, it still doesn't rattle Tampa because they have so much experience in the playoffs now.
I got to tell you, though, Willis, I have to agree with you. I think Austin Matthews has to get on the board tonight. I think this is one of these games where you need your star guys to come out and be like, listen, we're not going to get embarrassed like we did the other night.
Plus 104,
and you know, he had a quiet season this year. Last year he had, what did he have, 62 goals, and this year he's got nothing. He didn't have the same emph. You know, he had a slow year. I mean, granted, Marner really turned it on last year. This past year, Marner's hot, but you need somebody with a lot of passion to just come out and score a big goal. And I think Matthews is that guy. You need him to send a message like, "Let's go here. We're fired up. We're ready to go. We're not getting embarrassed tonight. Bring it on." And I agree with you. I think it's got to be him.
Yeah.
What do you guys think up top there, Matty and Vala?
I think this is a must-win. I think if they lose this, then there's a chance of a fucking sweep from Tampa. Going into a 2-0 lead going into Tampa is not a good look for Toronto after the past 6 years, right?
Yep.
Losing first round. Not a good look.
Here's what Toronto needs to do. They need to keep Tampa off the score sheet because last game it was like 3 minutes in and they're already down 1-0, and then they're playing with pressure on them. They're playing scared because of their playoff history,
Right.
and it feels like we're playing on their heels. And then before you know, it's 2-0. Then things are getting out of hand. And then that third goal with 3 seconds left, the whole place was. I mean, they showed the parking lot outside of the stadium, and people were just like standing there, depressed looking, and it was like the game was already over. So
Yeah.
what they need to do is they need to keep the game close. They need to get on the board first. They can't be playing scared.
What do you got there, Matty?
I want to see Matthews play more like Matthews. It's weird coming from me because I'm usually the guy who says I want to see Matthews lay the hits, and I want to see him, get more physical, which he did game 1, and I loved watching it. But I think if they're gonna win the series, we need him being more like him. He needs to be more evasive, more on the puck. I think that's what they need for them to win. Is they need for him to play more like Matthews and less like the physical player that he's not.
Right.
As
Yeah,
fun
he's
as it
gotta
is
get back
to
to his
watch, it's if they want to win, it's not going to do it for him.
I agree.
He's got to put up points for that team, man, consistently.
He's got to get back. He's got to get back to his game. He's got to, reel it back in and remind himself, like, listen, I'm a star. Like, let's go. He's got to reel it in. I'm honestly surprised Wayne Simmons didn't draw into the lineup tonight. I really thought that he would draw in on maybe on a fourth line role just to get out there, throw the body around, maybe get into a fight, get the crowd going. Because sometimes you need that. Like, you got embarrassed. You come out here, you get a big start, and you throw a hit that sets the tone, and you get into a fight or something. Like, you need like an energy guy like that, a game changer.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm
100%
honestly
agree.
surprised that Simmons didn't draw into the lineup, but we'll see what Sheldon Keefe is thinking here. Honestly, I think the Leafs get it done tonight. I'm hoping. Don't quote me on it. But I think the Leafs get it done tonight. I think the offense figures it out. I'm gonna say. I'm feeling like a 5-3. feeling like a 5-3 Leafs win. I think their big guys score. I think Matthews gets one, maybe Marner, and I think they start to put it together. What do you guys have here? You guys thinking Toronto gets it done tonight, or you think Tampa shoves it down?
I think Toronto gets it done, especially if Hedman. You said he's possibly out. You're not sure.
Yeah,
if
game time decision. I know Chernak is out for sure, but Hedman game time. Nobody knows.
That's huge. That's huge. So I think you need a full squad going into it for sure. Especially going against Toronto when they just lost game 1.
Yeah.
Victor, he's a huge role player on that team. So,
I think the Leafs are going to be able to keep composure and make it a 1-1 series. They just got to keep composure. They can't if they do get down, they can't start panicking like last game.
Yeah.
Willie, do you think high scoring or low scoring game though?
It's hard to say high scoring when you're playing against Vass, but I almost think they have to make it a high scoring game because if these guys on Tampa start turning it up like last game, they got some goal scorers on that team. You got to be able to keep up with them. So they got to find a way to get it past Vass. Yeah, it's got to be high scoring.
Yeah.
I'm feeling something's telling me 5-3. I'm feeling it.
I'm
gonna go 4-2 Toronto tonight. I hope.
But I
think
Toronto gets it done. So we'll see what happens. I think that they turn it on tonight.
So the over in Toronto is what we got is the general consensus.
Yeah, I think I'd hammer the over tonight.
I'm feeling the under.
How come?
John's feeling.
I don't know how confident I am with that, but I'm leaning more towards the under.
Okay.
All right, so we'll see what happens here. I know. Here we go. We're gonna switch over. Rangers Devils game 2 at the Rock tonight. I got to tell you, boys, I'm nervous as shit. We'll see what happens. Young team for game 1. There were times where they were moving the puck well, but just it looked like silly mistakes. They weren't finishing checks. Just it looked like an inexperienced playoff team. And you see a team from the Rangers who went to the conference final last year. They know what it takes to win. They were they were getting their bodies in lanes, blocking shots. I mean, the Devils had 23 scoring chances, and only 7 of those chances actually hit the net out of 23. All the other ones were blocked. So it was, it's tough when you're generating opportunities, but they're not even getting to the net because they're laying out. And Igor played unbelievable. The guy looked mid, top tier form. So I think the Devils are going to figure out a better way tonight to get pucks onto onto Igor, and make them work a little bit harder. I'm interested to see what happens with Kane. He looked a little invisible in game 1. So, and I know Ranger fans have been talking about it on Twitter. I've been reading articles and stuff about Kane. He didn't look. I know Tarasenko looked great, obviously, with the first goal, but I know people are waiting to see, Kane. I think he's still bothered by that hip, though. That's what everybody keeps talking about. I don't know, John, if you've read anything or Chance, but he's been hurt. Like he hasn't been 100% in a while, like in a long time. He was hurt in Chicago with the hip, and he just kept playing. He kept playing, and I know the guys that I listen to, the Spit and Chicklets guys from Barstool, say it's the worst kept secret in the NHL. How this guy is hurt. Like you could just tell there's something about his movement that just it doesn't seem right. He looks a little like he's aching on his right hip there. I mean, I'll throw it over to you Ranger fans and to talk about it a little more. But he just it's something like for somebody that I've watched him so closely his entire career, he just doesn't look like he's moving right.
I mean, age is definitely going to get to him, but he's not moving like he used to for sure, and in a considerable way.
Yeah, 100% have to agree. But also, I did hear from Biz Nasty's mouth itself that he thinks Patrick Kane's going to figure it out and blow up in this series.
I think it's only a matter of time. So we'll see. I think the Devils got a big task tonight. I really hope Luke Hughes draws into the lineup. He was skating on the extra pair today during the pregame during the morning skate, so I don't think so. I think that piece of shit Kevin Ball is still going to be in the lineup. Unfortunately, Miles Wood is in the fucking lineup, and he's on the third line. How bullshit is that? I'm so fucking pissed. I was reading that this morning, and I threw my phone across the room because I was like, this motherfucker, this playoff fucking Kurt. He's such an asshole, that guy. The guy drives me absolutely crazy, man.
He's an idiot.
And he's completely brain dead on the ice. You don't know what the fuck he's doing half the time. He can't control the puck. The guy can't stop. He's like a guaranteed. If he's going to the net, if Ranger fans, if you watch the game tonight, you see Miles Wood taking it to the house, taking it to the net, just know you're going to get a goaltender interference power play. Just know it's coming because the fucking guy can't stop. He doesn't know how to stop. It's either he runs himself into the boards or he runs himself into the net and then falls. Yeah, I mean, the other night, he took 2 penalties. His second penalty, he couldn't stop. He ran into the boards, fell down, and when he fell down, he threw his stick around and fucking tripped Lindgren, I think it was, in the corner. Like, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, the guy is such an idiot, and for some reason, he's moved up on the 3rd line. He's moved up. He's not even down on the 4th line with McLeod and Bastion tonight. He's on the 3rd line. Hold on, I'll read you the double lines tonight from Amanda Stein, who covers the team for the Devils. But they have him on the 3rd line tonight.
Any changes in the Rangers lines?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I didn't
know if any of you guys were aware of anything.
Yes,
I haven't seen anything.
This is the Devils lines tonight, per the morning skate this morning. So they had Nico Hischier. They moved up Timo Meier on the 1st line to play with Dawson Mercer. And then they had Palat, Hughes, and Bratt. That line stayed the same. And now they have Miles Wood playing with Eric Halla and Thomas Tatar. Now, I don't know why Boquist came out of the lineup instead of Wood. They took Boquist out and put Sharon Govich in to play with McLeod and Bastion. Honestly, I would have put Sharon Govich with Halla and Tatar. I think Sharon Govich last year played on a line with Jack Hughes. He had 25 goals and has a skill player like mindset. I don't know why the fuck he's playing with brain dead Michael McLeod, who he can't control the puck either. But at least he's got a little bit more hockey sense than fucking Miles Wood. But he's not that great either. And Bastion gets it done. He reminds me of like a Tom Wilson type player. But I think I would have liked Sharon Govich on that 3rd line with Halla and Tatar. Hopefully throughout the game they switch that up. And then obviously Siegenthaler, Hamilton, Graves, Marino, and Ball and Severson are the defensive pairs, and then Vanacek in the net. But I can't stand. I don't know what Miles Wood has on Lindy Ruff. I don't know why this guy's still playing. He's terrible. Like, I mean, as people, I mean, Matt, you've seen him many times throughout the season, and hearing me talking about him. The guy fucking stinks, and I can't stand that guy, man. He drives me nuts. The beginning of the year, the Devils lost the first 2 games like 2-1 and then like 5-3, and then he goes, "I'm sick of being on a team that sucks. Like, this is BS. Like, I'm sick of being here. Like, being on a team that's not good." This is Miles Wood in the locker room post game 2. I mean, granted, after that, the Devils went on a 14-game win streak, but still, like, it's like, dude, like, shut your fucking mouth. Like, the guy's just a total asshole. I can't stand Miles Wood. I'll throw it over to you guys for your guys' take on Game 2 tonight. I'm hoping different play from the Devils. I'll throw it over to you guys.
I actually have Miles Wood 3+ goal scorer tonight, but after hearing that, I may cash that out before the game starts.
3+ goal scorer. Wow, he's going to score the first goal tonight for the Devils and jam it down my throat.
Yeah, right? No, but, John, I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear what Johnson had to say, too. But
I think this is going to be a much closer game than Game 1. I think the Devils are going to figure it out, possibly figure out Igor, unless we just shut him down in your own barn. But I don't think it's going to be that as explosive from the Rangers in this game tonight.
I agree. I think it's a much closer game. And I will say, I know he scored last game, but I think I need to see more from Jack Hughes. I mean, he's your points leader, he's your goal leader, he's your assist leader, and his only contribution was
the
penalty shot.
Yeah, no, I agree, Matt. I think what I liked about that penalty shot goal, though, it gets the monkey off the back there. He's got the first playoff goal now. People aren't going to ride him like, where's Jack? Where's Jack? He's going to come in tonight, I feel like, a lot more relaxed, regular hockey game mode, and I think that line will turn it on. They'll feel a lot better, a lot more comfortable.
One thing that scares me with Hughes, though, is I don't feel like he's mature enough after watching that Game 1. I don't know. Like, he's got the talent. He's just still really young, dude. Like, it's hard to fucking – you don't see a lot of people come into the offs when they're 21 and, like, start putting up crazy points against a team like the Rangers. Like,
right. That's
the thing that scares me. I do have the Rangers or the Devils tonight, but I had the Devils before this playoff started. I had the Devils going to the Cup final because they look so good in the regular season. I don't know if they're going to be ready for that after like I've started to see some more playoff hockey. I don't know.
No, I mean,
It's just I want to see them to play well tonight because during the regular season they were a lot of fun to watch. In that first game, I was like, damn, like they don't look anything like what I've seen.
listen, I talked to a lot of Devils fans. I talked to my dad. He's a diehard, Jersey City boy. He's a diehard Devil fan. I'm a diehard Devil fan, and I'd say it all the time. The window just opened. This is the opening of the window. Like the Devils, they talking about it on NHL Network. They talking about it on ESPN. Like the Devils are going to be top tier in the league for the next 5 to 7 years with this core. Like all of these guys are 23, 22, 21. Like Luke Hughes is 19. Like these guys are young kids. Like this is the window has barely cracked open for the Devils. So listen, I'm excited. Let's go. Let's see what happens. These young kids, they got a little experience now. They took a little bit of a beating. Let's go in tonight. Let's play a lot more relaxed. Let's play loose. Let's have fun, and let's see what happens. I mean, I think that they're gonna bring it to the Rangers tonight. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. You guys got anything else?
I just want to see a hard-fought series. So I want them to tie it up to 1-1.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, jumping down to the Kraken and the Avalanche here. Kraken took it to the Avalanche game 1. The Avs, defending champs, did not look awesome. I mean, they had spurts where they looked really good. McKinnon had 2 posts he hit. But, hey, I mean, give the Kraken credit, bro. I mean, they came out and they silenced that crowd in Denver. They brought the energy. They looked good at times, and the Kraken took game 1. So what do you guys expect to see from game 2 here?
I don't know who wants to start, but I think the Colorado's got to come out and explode again because they can't let Seattle take 2-0 going back home. Yeah, after being the underdog here, they can't let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Avs need to put more points on the board. It's not like they're playing a Vasilevsky or Igor type goalie here, like Ottinger, any of these top tier guys. They're playing Grubauer, who is a great goalie, but like you got to get more than 1 goal when you're the defending champs. You have such a high-powered offense. You don't have Landeskog, but you still got so many guys. Rantanen puts up more than McKinnon. It's like their offense is so strong. So that if they want to win the series, they're gonna have to score a lot more than 1 goal a game. And I think it's gonna be starting tonight. I think the Avs take this game.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the the keys to the game according to NHL Network, and one of the things is aggression. And I have to agree. I mean, a lot of that game in the Seattle game, Seattle was just a way more aggressive team. Like they were consistently pressuring like their top, the Avalanche's top guys, everybody all over the ice. They're the first to lose pucks. They were making the Avalanche, chip and chase instead of playing that finesse game that the Avs are used to. They didn't give Makar much time to, jiggle his way around the ice and tiptoe around people. Like they really made them work for it. So we'll see. I think the aggression is going to be huge. And then I also saw execution. Like I said, McKinnon with 2 posts. I think the Avalanche got to figure it out, settle down and score those big goals like they're used to doing, like especially last year in the playoffs and throughout this year. I think the Avalanche are still the top team in the West for me. I think they're still the bomb to beat. So we'll see what happens in game 2 tonight. You guys got any final thoughts before we move on here?
I think whoever is able to control the pace of this game better is going to take it.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to watch. Let's see. I mean, if the Kraken somehow push the tempo and dominate physically again, I mean, we could be seeing a 2-0 lead going back to Seattle and putting big time pressure on the defending champs to figure it out. So we'll see what happens in Denver, Colorado tonight for game 2. And then finally, we got the Jets and the Golden Knights. And hey, we were talking about it. The Jets' top stars came to play. 3 of their top stars scoring, 4 of them having points. And the Golden Knights just looked slow. They looked sloppy. They didn't look like they were in the game too much. The Jets just overall dominated. We'll start with you, Willis. Big night tonight in Vegas. The Golden Knights got to figure it out here. What do you have on this game?
Yeah, I got the Golden Knights taking this game. So I have every series getting tied up 1-1, but this is the one I'm the least confident in, just because of how good the Jets looked last game. I actually have Scheifele scoring tonight, and I don't have any Golden Knights guys scoring, but I do think it'll be a high-scoring game because, if the Jets could put up 5 on the road, you got to think Vegas is going to start, they could play hockey. They're like, the best team in the West, so they're going to be able to put some goals up too to match them. So it's not
Yeah.
going to be 5-1 every game. So I think the Golden Knights put up some goals tonight and win this game. But I think it'll be a lot better of a series than I thought.
I have Jack Eichel scoring tonight. I think he gets his first playoff goal, and I think he turns it on. I say Jack Eichel for 2 for Dose.
Wow.
Dose tonight. 2 for Ikes. One for Phil Kessel as well because I love Kessel. He's the guy. If the guy drinks Coke on the bench, I mean, I don't think there's anything better than that.
No, I love
Phil fucking Castle.
Phil Kessel
Phil
drinking Coke on the bench is
love
just
to
it's
see
just
Phil
elite.
go
It's just
crazy in the
elite.
offs.
Yeah, you guys got to check out this clip. If you go to YouTube and check out the Chicklets YouTube channel, they did an interview with a guy who's a former Toronto Maple Leaf, played with Kessel as a Leaf, and they talked about when Randy Carlyle came in as the coach, and said that they had to do weigh-ins every time they came to the rink, and they couldn't have Coke on the plane or on the bench. And Phil Kessel was like, "I'll fucking quit. I'll quit right here. I don't need this shit. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll quit hockey. I don't care." Like, he was like giving it to them, and the two of them would fight. You guys gotta check it out. Look up Phil Kessel on Randy Carlyle spitting Chicklets, and a great clip. You guys should check it out. Very funny. But yeah, I think overall, I think the Golden Knights get it done tonight. I'm thinking Golden Knights 4-2. I just feel like Eichel's gonna come out. He's feeling good being in the playoffs here. He's gonna have 2. And I think the Golden Knights, slow down the high-powered Jets offense for a little bit tonight, and don't look as sloppy on defense. What do you have up there, Matty, on game 2?
Yeah, I mean, I got the Knights taking it, but I agree. Jack Eichel needs to come out. I mean, it's another Matthews and Hughes. He's one of those guys for that team. And he needs to perform. He needs to show up tonight.
3 Americans. The Americans got to turn it on here. I mean, they're the face of American hockey right now. These guys got to turn it on and get going here. So, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, last game, the Knights just looked like they were just slow and just I think they were a little stunned on how well the Jets played. I think. So, I mean, and then again, the top guys for the Knights can't be -3, -2 again. You can't have your top guys being liabilities on the ice the whole game. So, especially when you get 21, 22 minutes of ice time, he can't be a big liability out there. So, we'll see what happens. I say the Knights tie it up tonight and play a lot better. So, we'll see what happens there. So overall, final thoughts on tonight's games, guys. Which games are you most excited to see? What are we thinking? How do you think it's going to go?
Do we
tonight?
think any OT tonight?
I think
I think Seattle.
I think the Toronto game could very well go to OT.
No, I think
One of these teams, I could see one of these teams going to OT for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like that Kraken Avalanche game. For some reason, it was 3-1. It was tight. I think that game goes to OT. I think the Avalanche take it in overtime and get buzzing here. I could see that game being an
That'd be
OT
crazy.
on
That
the
place
OT
would-
watch. I have to say though, I'm very excited to see what the playoff atmosphere is going to be like in Seattle in that new arena.
Yeah,
Those Seattle
that's
people,
true.
they're hungry. The Seahawks haven't been good for a while. The
Yeah.
the Mariners have been interesting. I think they're excited for some playoff sports. That's a big sports city. They're very passionate fans up there in Washington. So it's going to be fun to watch them come to a playoff hockey game and get buzzing and get going here. I'm looking forward to watching that.
It's gonna be a fun night.
So we'll see. Fired up. Here we go, baby. Must win for the Leafs. Here we go. I'm fired up. And, hey, for the Devils, cannot wait. Let's go, baby. I think the Devils are going to change it up. We're going to do a live electric chair watch party tonight for Devils, Rangers, and Leafs, Lightning. We're not going to do the 2 West Coast games because we got some other stuff we got to take care of. But we're going to do Leafs, Lightning, and we're going to do Devils, Rangers, live electric chair right here on the YouTube channel. So hang out with us if you guys are interested in watching that. I'll be throwing that stream up in a few minutes starting at 7 o'clock when the Leafs and Lightning get going. I want to thank everybody for coming on the show today for the pregame show, hanging out with us here. Thanks for watching. If you guys were watching, it's going to be on our YouTube channel, so go check it out if you guys have any interest in looking at it later on. And we will see you guys for the post game later on tonight. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, so much for coming on the show.
There's no Victor Hedman again.
Oh, was that breaking news? No Victor Hedman real quick there?
Ooh,
Was that breaking
Ooh.
news? I
Yeah.
think that was breaking news right there. But no Victor
Yeah.
Hedman. So, hey, that's huge for the Leafs. This is like you got to get it done here. Their two top defensemen, on the Leafs are gone, or on the Lightning are gone. So you got to figure it out here. This is the night.
Gotta figure it out.
This is the night.
This has to be. It has to be tonight.
Yeah, no Victor Hedman. That's huge. Breaking news right here on Chirp City Media. We got it here. Breaking news, no Victor Hedman for Game 2. The Leafs in a must-win situation. Let's go, baby. Go, Leafs, go. Go, Leafs, go. Let's go, baby. Here we go. We'll see you guys live in the Electric Chair Show. Thanks for hanging out.
Can save you, though. Get 2 or more